So I'm looking at like smash factor here, which is the overall solidness of hit. So the 6 iron like 1.42 or 0.43 would be the most solid for a 6 iron. Tour average is probably around 1.40 on average, how solid they hit it, which is ball speed divided by club head speed. So you're hitting this 1 mile an hour less speed, which is about 3 yards. If we look up versus this one, 95 miles an hour versus 94, this is 1.36, which is less solid than 1.41. So you're hitting it a lot more solid, which could be because your clubs aren't, lie angle isn't right or whatever. The shaft, may influence it. But the lofts are also probably different. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up the specs, but I would assume since they're both blades, they're probably pretty similar, but these are also probably newer. And the trend has been to go with lesser loft since PXG kind of, their irons were going so far. But you said your clubs were 1 degree flat, you thought, after he tinkered with them. So if we look at your club path, which is the direction your club is swinging to the right? So that would produce a draw. You'd want this to be half of this. So that's a good proper draw, which half would be 2.2. This would be 2.5, so it's a little open. This was way open, so that's kind of a push cut, push cut, push cut. So these are actually more open. You're swinging slightly more into out, 5.8 on average versus 3.8, but your face is 6.8 to the right of the target line, and that's only 3.9. So I'm not sure what was going on with this club, because if your face was too much open on average here, you would think they'd put you in maybe a degree or two more upright, because they just kind of base it off what you got that day, where I kind of look at their impact position, see if why their toe is digging or if it's digging, so we can get that face to match up with their path. So that would be 1.9 on average. That would be 1.7. That would draw back to the target, but it's too open, so it's push cutting. But your swing's really consistent. This is just a little bit more into out. Maybe you're more loose, I don't know, and you got more comfortable swung more into out. But you hit it more solid, but your face was more open. So I'm not sure what they said to do about your lie angle, but if all golf swing positions were correct, your impact was good, I would fit you in something with, more upright to get this face to be, only right here, 3.1 or 3.2 right of the target line. So it was half of the path, so draw back. But over here, just your smash factor is playing a big influence in this carry number being different. Your swing speed, each mile an hour is about 3 yards if all the other variables are the same, but they're not because you're hitting this solid. And these clubs, I'm not sure the lofts, but this spin rate, that I would say that's good for a blade. Under 6,000, because 6 times 1,000 for a 6 iron. That's a little less spin, so it'll be piercing through the wind as long as you're launching it high enough, which just looks. They're stopping pretty quickly, so I wouldn't mess with that. That's launching a lot higher for some reason. Maybe the shaft is kind of old, a little weaker than a stiff actually, so it's launching a little higher like it's a weaker shaft with a little bit more spin. But overall, this swing speed should be in an extra stiff shaft. Definitely these swing speeds. And you always want to err on the stiffer side so it doesn't get flimsy on you. But weaker. I don't know why. I don't know. There's so many variables. It's hard to say. But I would go extra stiff. I don't think the Oban is the end all be all. If I don't know. Maybe you like the feel better, or you didn't even try another shaft. X Forge is what I had. Those are spinnier typically, but I don't know. There's so many variables, and I got fit, and my spin rates were good with the X Forge. Just the way I was swinging that day, but then I just played in tournaments, spun them way too much. My ball would get eaten up. I went back to the tour department, and the spin rate was, instead of 53, it was like 63. So It all depends on that day too, but you can see this smash factor is also higher. This swing speed is also higher. So these numbers are a little distorted, and we don't really know what your shafts, based on the wear and tear and the lie angles, which could be influencing, the smash factor.